Well, hi everybody. Well, I guess just hit record. I've been sitting here pondering, trying to get all my thoughts together for this video. Sitting up there, and the hardest part is pressing that button, hitting record. So I come to you guys. This may be part of the title. I'm going to try to not make this a ramble, but I kind of want to come to you guys with God is speaking to all of you. Is speaking to all of us. And and for this, so I'm speaking to this for everybody, for believers, for atheists, for agnostics, for all of you. God is speaking to you. Now, for the believers, for those that feel like that He's stopped speaking to you, I've had some epiphanies today, and I kind of a little bit in your shoes, because I've kind of felt like at a time He was speaking to me when He wanted me to take some actions on things. And then when I wasn't doing those actions, He stopped speaking to me. And then when I started there, He'd start speaking to me again. So as time goes on, I kind of start doing some actions and stuff, but as all that kind of transpires a little bit, throughout there, I'm human. I'll sit there and kind of going, is that God speaking to me? Is there? And start kind of questioning in that stuff a little bit. And so I will say this: I've come to the epiphany, and keep in mind, you guys, this is coming from somebody that has no authority on this matter. I can't sit here. I can't spill out scripture to you and everything else. I'm a new believer, so this is from fresh eyes, right, and fresh ears coming into this. But the one thing I can tell you is that the Lord is speaking to everybody, and I'm going to give some examples of my own personal testimony in this video also. But the Lord is speaking to everybody. It's the difference maker is whether you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, as he says in His Word. So I would keep that in mind. Do you really have the eyes to see and the ears to hear? So, and take that literally to heart. And I will say this: if you feel like that He's stopped speaking to you, well, have you started doing the thing for the first one that you prayed for? Have you accomplished that first thing? I've kind of come to that epiphany a little bit, that one thing at a time. He wants you to accomplish this thing first versus the next. When you accomplish that, then we'll move on there. Granted, this is all on the Lord's, on His time frame, on His time schedule, on what His will is for us, right? So if you've prayed to Him to do His will on you, right? Obviously, His will on you is to accomplish step A before step B, right? So got to kind of reflect back on, have you actually taken action on step A first? So I've come to that epiphany. I'm wanting to share that with you. Anybody, if you have different thoughts on this, post the comments below. Let's have a conversation about it. But I think this is kind of the most important part of our spiritual journey. Is the prayer, and then listening when He talks back to us. Making sure that we're listening and we're watching. So I've kind of come to it to the point of maybe me dumbing down a little bit of my personal prayers, right, on His will for me, right, where let's focus on one first, right? One is following along me. I've been focusing more just on His will on me, right? And one of His biggest wills on me is me doing this, ironically. which still kind of boggles me to this day, because of me, of all people, with not having any authority on this matter. I don't know if it's just me having a fresh eyes, fresh perspective of Him speaking to me being such a lifelong agnostic, not being into faith. I don't know. I'm not going to speak to that, but He spoke to me today this is the biggest thing weighing on my heart, to put this on film. So I would say this. I'll give you guys a couple of stories too, as these are things that which kind of weighed on my heart a little bit little bit today, because as he was giving me signs on, because I prayed the other day going, is this what you're telling me, Lord? Questioning if I'm listening to him. And he's giving me signs this morning, which has prompted this video to going, yes, right? I'm getting all these signs on listen to God, listen to God, listen to God today. And him wanting me to reach out to certain individuals too, to give, I think, to the aspect of him giving me reminders. I've been talking to you for a long time. You just haven't been listening. You haven't been paying attention. Now my eyes are wider. My ears are more open. So I'm paying more attention to how he's speaking, how he's talking to me, being observant. So that's kind of where I feel like that we need to be in our journey of faith, right? Having that faith when he's speaking to us. So I kind of give you a fine example. Way back, this is, so my oldest son is, so he was born in 97, he's 25 now, going to be 26. Yeah. So anyway, so he was about 7 years old. I was living out of state, and his mother had custody of him at the then, or his estranged mother now. But anyways, so I was living out of state, and after a fruitful day of work, I just had this calling that I needed to see him. That I needed to go join him. I guess I can't think of a better way to kind of put it, but I was out of state. So that night I packed up and I got on the road, heading ended down. And this is before cell phones, before any of this stuff. So nobody knew I was coming. It was on a whim. Okay. And my first stop when I got into town was to his mother's place, or is that was she was staying with her grandparents. So it was to her place. And that day, as I arrived, they pulled up their car. And you know what just transpired that day that I arrived? She put our son up for adoption. And then as she's telling me about all this, she's like, "Oh, you could tell. Look at that. Everybody was surprised that I was there." And after the fact, it's come to find out, because they haven't kept asking, "What about the father? What about the father? Is he going to come back?" and all this stuff. So I'm not going to get into the fine detail of that stuff. But so I told her to get in the truck and went down there immediately. They were closed at the time, so I had to take care of that stuff first thing in the morning, and I had to get the state involved and everything else. So to that day, that there's other examples that I can tell you throughout my life now that I reflect back, now that I'm more aware and more open to stuff. But that is a minute, the biggest one that stands out in my history, that is makes more of a profound impact, to reflect back on that going, geez, that was the Lord at work, protecting my son, saving me and him, our relationship. So that was a profound thing for me, to speak to me, to come into town, to have that sense to come, to town as the Lord speaking to me. And so he's been speaking to me for a long time. I didn't look at it that way. I wasn't aware of that. The Lord, I didn't have a relationship with the Lord. I didn't have the eyes to see, the ears to hear. Right? So these things, if once you come there, if you're not there, if you're agnostic or you're atheist right now and you're watching this, take the first step, because it's up there. If you're watching this, your heart is a little open, and it's softened a little bit to receive this message. Pick yourself up a Bible. Pull it up. They got digital ones online. Grab a Bible. Start reading it. Open your heart a little bit and listen. You'll come to it, as I have, to believe. That I can say with the utmost confidence. But you got to take the first step and open the book and just give it a chance. Read it, right? Take all your doubts and everything else, give it a grain of salt. Just start reading the Word. Sit up there and see where that leads you. But just pick up the Bible. That's where I kind of leave with that. Is the biggest aspect is opening your eyes, opening your ears. And the Lord is speaking to you. He's speaking to all of us, whether you're a believer or not. He has a direction for every single one of us that he is trying to direct us. It's just whether we want to pay attention and whether we want to listen. And I can say that he's been speaking to me clearly for months now. And I know when he stops speaking, it's because I haven't taken action on what he's done. And ironically, I start taking action on what he's directing me to do. Guess what? He starts talking to me again. He starts giving me more direction. So as he has this morning. So I'll kind of end with this note a little bit, because I don't want to ramble on in this video, but I do want to give an encouragement and a different perspective from a very new believer, and just be genuine and be real and give a little bit of my insight into it, that, and where the Spirit is kind of leading me to speak to you. The one thing that I haven't been able to pinpoint this yet, if I've said these words at any point in this video, I'm not aware of it sometimes, and I'll be aware of it when I do replay on this. But my wife pointed it out, and it's these words, sitting up there. Okay, I don't know what those words are yet. But my wife's pointed out is that I've been using those as filler words in place of ums or sitting up there. And I just, now that I'm more aware of it, she pointed out, I do catch it. And I just did it right then with that subconsciously. So I don't know if that's the Lord talking to me or if it's him trying to give a message to you or others. I haven't figured that out yet. But it came to my attention when I was filming a different video that hasn't posted yet, because I think I want to redo it. But when I was doing a replay on it, after she pointed out to me, I was able to, I did it a couple times in that video, going just in mid-sentence coming out of my mouth, which is kind of dumbfounding me. So there's a little bit, you catch that and instead of dumbfound, yes, I am aware of it. I don't know why yet. I don't know why, but I kind of researched it. It feels like it's being used as a filler word in replace of that right now, but just kind of ironic that it's those words sitting up there, like up there with the Lord. So I don't know if it's a something that I'm needing to decipher. I wasn't aware of it for a while, so I don't know if the message is actually for me, so, or whether it's for those that are listening to me. So take that for what it is. So if those words mean anything to you, meditate on those words, because I think that message is those three words are being spoken for a reason. So I wanted to highlight that and be transparent with you guys. It's something I am aware of, that he's using me as I believe as a vessel to put that out there. So if those three words resonate with you, or if they don't yet, maybe meditate on those for a minute, see what it says to you. But with that, you guys, I wanted to give a little bit of my perspective on this a little bit. When I was originally thinking about this, I had a few different avenues that I wanted to do there, but I didn't want to, which I'm kind of doing right now, is turning it into a ramble a little bit. But just there's so much that I'm filled with to kind of share. But the biggest aspect that I want to end you guys with is, for sure, the Lord is speaking to you. You just need to listen. And if he stopped speaking to you, you haven't taken action on the first thing. You haven't done your job, right? There's things that he's doing for us, but it takes us to take action also, right? It's a relationship, right? It's a partnership. So there's something that you haven't done your part. So whatever that is, you need to figure that out and get that and do your part. So take care of step A before you're expecting B. So with that, you guys, I hope this content helped you. If you like what you're seeing here, you guys, subscribe. Let's establish a relationship. Let's establish a community. Sit up there. Let's bring other people on board. Share the video if you feel it's going to help somebody else coming, from a new believer. And let's see where this takes us, you guys. I am letting the Spirit lead me. The topics that I'm going to bring up, or videos that I'm going to do, it's going to be whatever is being compelled for me to do. So some of the stuffs will probably be random. I don't know. This is kind of what spoke to me today, saying, turn on the camera, let's talk about this. So with that, you guys, I leave you with that. God bless you. And until next time, you guys.